2 weekends ago in Tulsa, and then look ahead to this weekend in Kansas City.
Well, I haven't seen you all since that, so this is reflection right here. So, if you look back at what these guys did, I'd be remiss or wrong not to mention and start with, what a great effort we had from 10 guys, all 10 guys scoring points, and beating a team like Oklahoma State that really wrestled well. I mean, they wrestled above their seeds if you follow all the stuff. So I was just proud of these guys. They scored a heck of a lot of bonus points. Now we got to carry that momentum over to this weekend, but this is a pretty cool thing. And I'm not tough enough to carry it above my head like Coach TJ, so I'm going to hand it over here. All right. So, but no, we're excited. We see the draws. We see what's in front of us. We take off tomorrow, Tuesday. We'll get into Kansas City about 6. We'll do our typical day before drill around noon on Wednesday, and just wait till Thursday morning at 11. So we're excited. We got 9 healthy guys right now. We got to get through one more workout here in about an hour, and the work's done.
When the rule change happened about the 3-point takedown and 3 near fall and things like that, we've seen the impact throughout the year of more bonus points. But how beneficial has that rule change been for you guys specifically? Because you've always been a program that wants to go out and attack, and I think we've seen the rewards of that in the Big 12 championships.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about this team is, and it's the charge that they follow. We put the charge out there right now that you guys are entertainers. People are spending money, buying tickets, paying online to watch you wrestle, and so they like a product that's got a lot of action, and I think we've done a really good job with that. I think the 3-point takedown obviously helps us when you got guys that have a real international background like Anthony and Younger. That's just common sense there. But it also, I think it forces guys to go get that major more than it probably ever did because it's not that far away. And I think you saw a lot more major decisions. And, I was just really proud of the fact that we put up so many bonus points in Kansas City. And we preached it a lot, going in 2-3 weeks out. We started talking about it and making games with bonus points and stuff like that. So they really understood the point system probably more than any other team that we've ever taken to a postseason. So.
Did you say making games or making gains?
Making games. We had a simulation the weekend before. We went to Gilbert High School and did a simulation of the Big 12 tournament on Saturday and Sunday the weekend before. And we kept bonus points. And so we had a group text set up, and I sent them a text after each round and say, okay, this round you guys scored this many bonus points. This round you scored this many bonus points. So I wanted them to understand the math of it and, give them something to shoot for.
You told us how big that was going to be in winning close matches in order to win the Big 12, and you won a good share of close matches, dropped a couple, but I mean, how encouraging is that as you transfer from that tournament to the big tournament, whereas that's been the question in recent years? Great dual team, does it translate? It sure looks like it does.
Yeah, it translated last weekend, and when you get to the NCAA tournament, been there a lot as a coach, and like I said, number 1, you have to be good, and number 2, you got to get some breaks. And you can make your own breaks, but at the same time, we didn't make a lot of our own breaks last year. We didn't get a lot of help from the guys in the black and white. That's not an excuse. Sometimes you need that. And but first off, you got to be good, and I think we've got a good team. So, we're going to need some breaks to get up there to the top, and we're going there to get to the top. So we just need to get it going.
Talk about kind of the mindset of your guys and like the resiliency. Every time Oklahoma State kind of made a run, specifically that Sunday morning, they had 6 guys going. Iowa State only had 4. And Iowa State's guys always bounced back or had a response. Talk about kind of what their mindset was during that session and, and how you kind of respond to adversity.
Well, the individual side of the sport of wrestling is well known. I thought what was evident with our guys is, our 5 guys were in the finals. They weighed in. They went through the same warm-up as the guys that were wrestling that morning. They ate the same weigh-in meal. They didn't go do their own restaurant thing. And they stayed around and walked from mat to mat to mat during that 2.5-hour round. And we're cheering their buddies on. Those 4 guys had a big cheering section just in their immediate teammates. So it was really a team win, and that's an example of, I was proud of how they pulled together there and knew it was on the line.
Last go around for David in the Nationals. What do you feel like maybe he learned from the latest O'Toole match? And obviously you talked about what his mindset's been like, and I don't think you want that to change.
No, and going in, I said he had a great mindset. He'd been wrestling well, and I hold true to all that, even in the match that he lost. O'Toole, you know, I've watched him wrestle a lot the month prior to Big 12s, and you know, to me it wasn't the typical O'Toole, but that guy that showed up at the Big 12s was legit. I mean, he really looked good. We got to change our strategy a little bit. We got to do a couple things different. We got to make some adjustments, no question. But I still like David Carr. I really do. I think that you know, you got to take them one at a time. That's coach cliche, but you got to take them one at a time. And if that match happens on Saturday or Friday night, then you know, we're going to give it the best. And I still stand in the corner thinking my guy's the guy that can win that match.
You just had to check yourself real quick, saying Friday night instead of Saturday night. What's your take on David getting the 4 seed?
I don't. You know, I think David deep down doesn't get to be the underdog much. And my experience with David is it's always a little bit easier for him, and as his careers went on, to be the hunter instead of the hunted. And so he might get to be the hunter for one more time in his career, and he doesn't get to do that much. So I think he's kind of excited about that. I know he's pretty focused on just getting, you know, he's a guy that got upset a couple years ago on Thursday night. So you know, David Carr's not going to be looking ahead.
I was going to say, in his match, it looked like, I mean, he took his shots. O'Toole defended those shots.
Yeah, defended them well.
And found a way to get some points. I mean, is that one of the reasons why you can't take the way David approached the match? It's just, you just got to stick.
No, we have to be better with our shots, and we still got to go after him. We didn't take great shots, and O'Toole proved he's really good at reattacking, and he reattacked us and beat us there. So, you know, we got to be much more strategic with our techniques and get to different sides and stick with what's made us good so far up to this point in his career. But we know it'll be a great match if we get there, and man, I think a lot of the wrestling fans hope we get there.
How have you seen David's mentality as he gears up for his final tournament?
Nothing different, you know, business as usual, smile on his face. You saw him on the floor Sunday night in Tulsa. I mean, he looked like a kid that, you know, got his first, I don't know, pony or something. I don't know. He looked like a kid that got a brand new car or something. He just, you know, one of his huge goals was to win a Big 12 championship. And so, you know, he knew that he was going to go back to work the next day, and he did. And but he was really happy for the team.
How good does it feel as a coach that you guys were able to get a trophy, and especially in David's last season?
That was great. You know, it's we've been knocking on that second, third the last 4 or 5 years, and so we needed to punch that one in.
Obviously, you qualified at all but one weight class, and probably look up and down that lineup at guys like Chittim, Swiderski, a lot of guys that you feel like could make the type of, you know, you assume things with David and you assume things with Younger, but you probably feel really good about it, all those guys too.
No, I feel good about really all 9 guys, you know, and even Will Feldkamp, up until, you know, we were probably mum's the word a little bit. You know, Will, since the Oklahoma State dual meet, probably wrestled one time in 5 weeks. And you just can't go out there at a tournament of that caliber and perform at a high level when you only get one practice in 5 weeks. The good thing is when we woke up Monday morning, he felt great. I mean, he felt the best he's felt all season. So he's really trained hard for about 8 days now, and you know, we'll cut it back today a little bit, but he had the best wrestling workouts he's had in, you know, really the second semester. So you know, don't count that guy out.
When did Younger start pinning people?
At the Big 12. Saturday, whatever that day was, that's when he started pinning people.
What step of that growth have you seen from him? Like, because like you said earlier, Anthony and Younger, great on their feet.
Yeah.
Among the best in the nation, world, potentially. But then when you add in the fact that Younger's going to start putting people to their backs, how far can that elevate?
Well, we don't practice a lot of pinning combinations with Younger. I know he likes to use them, so he messes around with them, but I spend a lot of time with Younger throughout the week in the mornings. He's my guy in the mornings, and we spend time on our feet, we spend time in the bottom. We don't spend time on pinning because that's just something that's going to take a long time for him to learn. Now, he hit a couple of holds that took guys straight from their feet to their back, you know. And if he would have been in America his whole life, he probably would have pinned the Air Force guy when he threw him on his back. But he just hasn't been in those positions in wrestling much in his life. So, but he figured out 2 of them, so good for him.
What was your reaction when Younger got that one leg takedown?
You know, with him anymore, nothing surprises me. He's such an athlete. He's so dangerous to shoot on. I mean, he's a really hard guy to wrestle. He's a really hard style matchup because he can really get to offense. We've seen him shoot, pick guys up, throw them down. He's really has that side. But then if you shoot on him, he's so quick to reattack and get behind you. Or now when you get his leg up in the air, he's like a triple threat. You know, he can take you down from there. So where that came out of, I've seen a little bit of that, but not much of it. But wow,
I was gonna say
that was a move of the Big 12 tournament, I think.
yeah, to not only survive against a good guy like that
Yeah.
and not get taken down, but to turn it to your advantage. How unique is that?
Yeah, that is. You know, I think Hendrickson's a great wrestler. I mean, he came out with a high pace. I mean, he came out to kick Younger's butt. You know, so that's a potential rematch too on Friday night. That could be a heck of a match too. You know, because that guy's going to make some adjustments, and we've got to make some adjustments. So we'll see.
You've been around the sport a lot longer than I have. Have you seen that sort of re-attack before, where even especially heavy, but any weight, hopping on one leg, and they find their balance for that split second and go after? Have you seen that?
You know,
before?
for a big guy, you know, obviously Gable Stevenson was pretty special. So I'm not putting him in Gable Stevenson's category yet, but what he can, some of the things he can do athletically is stuff I haven't seen at that weight. I haven't seen that. I mean, you see Yanni, you know, he was a lightweight guy. Yanni came out of a lot of situations, and there's been guys in the back, you know, David Taylor, Kyle Dake, all those guys were really hard to score on. But Younger's, for a big guy, Younger's is about as tough to take down as anybody.
Everyone's obviously looking at Younger, especially after moves like that in the Big 12. How have you kept him focused and really like honed in his mental how he's preparing mentally?
Well, Younger, I got to kind of get him, like almost borderline angry, because he's such a nice guy, and sometimes he kind of goes out there too loosey-goosey for me, you know. But when he goes out there, like, I mean, kind of to kill somebody, I don't want to sound like a savage, but when he goes out there to really, really get after somebody, and he's got that look in his eye, he's a handful. Sometimes he just, you know, sometimes in the past before he kind of gets out there and he relaxes a little bit if he doesn't think it's a big match. I doubt he'll approach the NCAA tournament like that.
Have you come up with any new insults for him?
No, but I will. I'll come
Okay.
up some more. I got to figure out how to get under his skin, and it works.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
All right.